Hello everyone and welcome to Old Coins TV channel. If you love exploring the world of coins, their history, value, and rare discoveries, you've come to the right place. Here, we'll share exciting information about coins from around the world, from ancient treasures to modern currency. So, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to never miss our latest videos. The 1928 1 dime of the United States, widely known as the Mercury Dime, is one of the most artistically admired and historically meaningful coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint. This coin belongs to the Winged Liberty Head dime series, which ran from 1916 to 1945 and represents a major shift in American coin design philosophy. Prior to this period, U.S. coins were largely conservative and repetitive in appearance, but the early 20th century brought a desire for beauty, symbolism, and national identity in everyday objects, including money. The 1928 dime was created during a period of optimism and cultural sophistication in America, just before the global economic collapse of the Great Depression, and therefore reflects a nation confident in its ideals, strength, and future. The design of the Mercury Dime was created by Adolph A. Weinman, one of the most respected sculptors of his time. Weinman was deeply influenced by classical art, but he also believed that American coinage should feel modern and expressive. His depiction of liberty on the obverse of the coin is not aggressive or militant, instead, it is thoughtful, calm, and intellectual. Liberty wears a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought and expression. This detail was misunderstood by the public, who believed the figure resembled the Roman god Mercury, resulting in the popular nickname, Mercury Dime. Despite the misidentification, the name became permanent in popular usage and is still used today by collectors, dealers, and historians. The obverse front of the 1928 dime is widely praised for its elegance and balance. Liberty's profile faces left, with finely sculpted hair flowing naturally beneath the wing cap. The word Liberty appears along the left rim, evenly spaced and well integrated into the design. The year 1928 is positioned at the bottom, clear and strong in well-preserved examples. The quality of the strike on the obverse is important for collectors, as weak strikes can obscure the finer hair details and facial contours. In higher-grade coins, these features appear sharp and defined, demonstrating the high level of craftsmanship achieved by the U.S. Mint during this era. The reverse back of the coin carries deep symbolic meaning. At the center stands a fasces, a bundle of wooden rods bound together with an axe blade emerging from the top. Historically, the fasces symbolizes unity, authority, and strength through cooperation. This imagery conveys the message that individual states and citizens, when united, form an unbreakable nation. Wrapped around the fasces is an olive branch, an ancient symbol of peace. The combination of these two elements expresses a powerful national philosophy. America is strong and capable of defense, yet committed to peace and stability. Surrounding this central image are the inscriptions United States of America, 1 dime, and the motto E pluribus unum, reinforcing the ideals of unity and national identity. The 1928 dime was struck at 3 different mint locations, each identified by a mint mark. Coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint carry no mint mark and were struck in the highest numbers. The Denver Mint produced dimes with a small D mint mark, while the San Francisco Mint produced coins marked with an S. The mint mark is located on the reverse side, to the left of the fasces near the bottom. Among these, the 1928 S Mercury Dime is especially significant, as it had a much lower mintage than the Philadelphia and Denver issues. Because many of these coins entered circulation and were heavily used, surviving examples in good condition are scarce, making the 1928 S one of the key dates in the entire Mercury Dime series. In terms of composition, the 1928 dime is made of 90% silver and 10% copper, a standard alloy used for U.S. dimes of the period. The coin weighs 2.5 grams, has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, and features a reeded edge, which was originally intended to prevent silver clipping and fraud. The silver content gives the coin intrinsic value beyond its face value, and even worn examples are valued for their precious metal content. However, numismatic value often far exceeds silver value, especially for coins in higher grades or with rare mint marks. During its time in circulation, the 1928 dime had meaningful purchasing power. A single dime could pay for everyday necessities such as newspapers, basic food items, or public transportation fares. Because these coins were used frequently in daily transactions, many examples show significant wear today. This heavy circulation makes well-preserved coins particularly desirable. Collectors closely examine details such as Liberty's hair, the wing lines on the cap, and the horizontal bands on the fasces to determine condition and grade. Grading plays a crucial role in determining the value and desirability of a 1928 Mercury dime. Coins are evaluated using standardized grading terms ranging from good to mint state. One of the most important design details on the reverse is the set of horizontal bands binding the fasces. When these bands are fully separated and clearly defined, the coin is described as having full bands, a designation that significantly increases collector interest and market value. Full bands examples from 1928, especially from the San Francisco Mint, are extremely rare and highly prized. The historical importance of the 1928 dime is further enhanced by its position in American history. It was minted during the final years of the Roaring Twenties, a period characterized by economic growth, technological innovation, and cultural change. Within a year, the United States would enter the Great Depression, forever altering the nation's financial and social landscape. As such, the 1928 Mercury dime stands as a symbol of an era just before hardship, representing confidence, artistic expression, and national pride. Today, the 1928 one dime is more than just a collectible coin. It is a historical artifact that tells the story of American values, economic conditions, and artistic ambition. It is admired by collectors for its beauty, sought after for its rarity in certain mint varieties, and respected by historians as a tangible piece of the past. Whether held as part of a complete Mercury dime collection or appreciated individually, the 1928 dime continues to capture the imagination of those who study and preserve American numismatic history. In conclusion, the 1928 United States Mercury dime is a remarkable coin that combines artistic excellence, symbolic depth, and historical significance. Its elegant design, silver composition, and place in early 20th century America make it one of the most respected and studied coins in U.S. history. Even after nearly a century, the 1928 dime remains a powerful reminder that small objects can carry great meaning and lasting legacy. Another important aspect of the 1928 Mercury dime is the production quality and striking challenges faced by the U.S. Mint during the late 1920s. Although minting technology had improved compared to the 19th century, the intricate design created by Adolph A. Weinman required precise striking pressure to fully bring out all details. In many 1928 dimes, especially those struck at the Denver and San Francisco mints, the reverse fasces bands appear weak or partially merged. This was not intentional but resulted from worn dies, insufficient striking pressure, and high production demands. As a result, collectors today often find that even coins with minimal surface wear may lack full detail, which makes sharply struck examples exceptionally desirable. The economic environment of 1928 also adds historical depth to this coin. America was experiencing rapid industrial growth, rising stock markets, and expanding consumer culture. Coins like the dime were essential for daily commerce in factories, streetcars, restaurants, and local markets. The high usage rate of small denomination silver coins explains why many 1928 dimes were heavily circulated. Unlike higher value coins that were sometimes saved, dimes moved quickly from hand to hand, leading to accelerated wear. This reality contributes to the scarcity of high-grade surviving examples today, particularly those with original mint luster. From a collector psychology perspective, the 1928 Mercury dime occupies a special place because it represents a balance between accessibility and challenge. While the Philadelphia issue is relatively available, the 1928D and especially the 1928S introduce difficulty that pushes collectors to study grading, strike quality, and authenticity more carefully. This coin teaches new collectors patience and research, while experienced numismatists appreciate the nuance involved in identifying superior examples. It is often considered a learning coin within the Mercury dime series. Another layer of interest lies in the die varieties and minor anomalies associated with 1928 dimes. While no major overdates or dramatic errors are widely recognized for this year, specialists have identified subtle differences in die alignment, lettering spacing, and mint-mark positioning. These small variations may not dramatically increase value for casual collectors, but they are highly intriguing to advanced numismatists who enjoy studying coins under magnification and comparing die states. Such study reinforces the idea that each coin is a unique product of its time and process. Preservation and storage play a crucial role in maintaining the long-term condition of a 1928 Mercury dime. Because the coin is composed primarily of silver, it is susceptible to toning, which occurs naturally when silver reacts with sulfur and other elements in the environment. Toning can range from light golden hues to deep blue or rainbow colors. While improper storage can damage a coin's surface, natural, even toning is often appreciated by collectors and can enhance visual appeal. Coins that retain original surfaces without harsh cleaning are significantly more valuable than those that have been improperly polished. The global appeal of the Mercury dime should not be overlooked. Although it is a U.S. coin, collectors worldwide recognize it as one of the most beautiful silver dimes ever produced. International collectors often seek the 1928 issue because it comes from a historically rich period and contains high silver purity. This global demand further supports the coin's long-term desirability and ensures its continued study and appreciation beyond American borders. Educationally, the 1928 Mercury dime is frequently used in numismatic teaching to explain concepts such as symbolic imagery, grading standards, mint-mark significance, and the impact of historical context on coin production. Museums, coin clubs, and academic discussions often reference Mercury dimes when discussing early 20th century American art and economics. The coin serves as a compact lesson in how national values are expressed through everyday objects. Finally, the legacy of the 1928 Mercury dime is strengthened by its place within a beloved series that concluded in 1945, when it was replaced by the Roosevelt dime. Many collectors view the Mercury dime era as the artistic peak of U.S. small silver coinage. The 1928 issue, sitting near the middle of the series, captures the maturity of the design before later wartime pressures changed minting priorities. Its continued popularity proves that artistic excellence and meaningful symbolism can give even the smallest coin a powerful and lasting presence in history. An often overlooked but highly meaningful dimension of the 1928 Mercury dime is its connection to American social life and labor culture during the late 1920s. At this time, millions of Americans were employed in factories, railroads, offices, and service industries, and the dime played a vital role in everyday wage transactions. Small silver coins were commonly used for lunch purchases, streetcar rides, and pay adjustments. Because of this constant handling, the dime became one of the most familiar coins in American pockets. The 1928 issue circulated among people who would soon face dramatic economic hardship, giving the coin a quiet but powerful association with the final moments of economic confidence before the Great Depression transformed daily life. From an operational standpoint, the U.S. Mint system in 1928 was undergoing efficiency-driven changes aimed at increasing output while controlling costs. Mint workers relied on hardened steel dies that wore down faster when producing detailed designs like the Mercury dime. As dies aged, they were often used longer than ideal to meet production quotas, which explains the prevalence of weakly struck details in many surviving examples. This operational reality is an important factor in modern grading, as collectors must separate true wear from original strike weakness when evaluating a 1928 dime's condition. The artistic influence of the Mercury dime design extended far beyond its own series. Adolph A. Weinman's work on this coin influenced later generations of American coin designers by proving that everyday currency could carry fine art quality sculpture. His balanced use of classical symbolism and modern realism set a standard that remains influential today. The 1928 dime represents a point where the design had fully matured, with dies refined after more than a decade of production, resulting in a harmonious and confident artistic presentation when struck well. Authentication has become increasingly important for the 1928 Mercury dime, especially for the scarce 1928s variety. Because of its higher value, this issue has been the target of counterfeiters and altered coins, particularly those where a mint mark has been added or modified. Professional collectors rely on magnification, weight verification, edge examination, and metal testing to confirm authenticity. Learning these techniques through the study of 1928 dimes has helped shape modern numismatic standards and awareness. The 1928 Mercury dime also holds an important place in the education of new coin collectors, often serving as one of the first historical silver coins studied by beginners. Because it combines accessible examples with challenging higher-grade varieties, it introduces collectors to key numismatic concepts such as grading differences, strike quality, mintmark significance, and historical context. Teachers, mentors, and coin clubs frequently use the Mercury Dime series, including the 1928 issue, to demonstrate how a single coin can reflect art, economics, politics, and metallurgy all at once. This educational value has ensured that interest in the 1928 dime continues to renew itself with each new generation of collectors. When compared to other dimes of the same era, the 1928 Mercury dime stands out for its artistic sophistication and symbolic clarity. Earlier dime designs, such as the Barber dime, emphasized formality and tradition but lacked expressive symbolism. Later designs, such as the Roosevelt dime, prioritized recognition and simplicity over artistic depth. The 1928 Mercury dime occupies a middle ground where artistic beauty, national symbolism, and practical circulation needs were all successfully balanced. This balance is one reason the coin is so frequently cited as one of the most beautiful small denomination coins ever issued by the United States. Ethical considerations in coin preservation and conservation are especially relevant to 1928 dimes. Because silver coins naturally age, there is often temptation among owners to clean or polish them to restore shine. However, modern numismatics strongly discourages such practices, as they permanently damage original surfaces and reduce historical integrity. The natural patina that develops on a 1928 Mercury dime tells a story of time and environment, and preserving this surface is now seen as an act of respect toward the coin's history. This shift in attitude reflects the maturity of coin collecting as a discipline rather than a hobby focused solely on appearance. Another long-term dimension of the 1928 Mercury dime is its role in family heritage and generational collecting. Many examples of this coin have been passed down through families, often saved unknowingly in jars, drawers, or inherited collections. When rediscovered, these coins frequently inspire curiosity and learning, connecting younger generations to relatives who lived nearly a century earlier. The 1928 dime thus acts as a bridge between personal family history and national history, strengthening its emotional as well as monetary value. The symbolic imagery of the coin continues to resonate in modern interpretations. Liberty's winged cap, representing freedom of thought, remains relevant in discussions about intellectual independence and democratic values. The fasces and olive branch on the reverse, when understood in historical context, emphasize unity and peace rather than dominance. Studying the 1928 Mercury dime encourages a deeper understanding of how symbols evolve over time and how their meanings must be interpreted within their original cultural framework. From a broader historical lens, the 1928 Mercury dime also represents the final years of pre-crisis American confidence. It was minted during a time when the United States saw itself as stable, prosperous, and forward-looking. Within a short period, the Great Depression would challenge these assumptions, altering the nation's economic and social structure. Coins like the 1928 dime, therefore, become markers of transition, physical evidence of a moment just before profound change. In the modern era, the 1928 Mercury dime remains a cornerstone of serious numismatic study. Auction records, scholarly articles, and museum collections continue to analyze its production, survival rates, and artistic merit. Its continued presence in academic and collector discussions confirms that it is not merely an old coin, but a lasting subject of historical inquiry. Ultimately, the enduring appeal of the 1928 one dime lies in its ability to combine beauty, meaning, and history in a form small enough to fit in the palm of a hand. Each example serves as a reminder that even the most ordinary objects of daily life can become extraordinary witnesses to the past. Through careful study and preservation, the story of the 1928 Mercury dime continues to grow richer with time. Another new perspective comes from examining the role of silver coinage in public trust. In 1928, silver coins were widely trusted because their intrinsic value closely matched their purchasing power. The Mercury Dime, including the 1928 issue, symbolized stability and honesty in currency. This trust would later erode as silver was removed from circulating coinage in the mid-20th century. As a result, the 1928 dime now stands as a reminder of a time when money itself carried real material worth. The long-term collecting patterns surrounding the 1928 Mercury dime show steady appreciation rather than speculative spikes. This makes it a cornerstone coin for serious collectors who value historical consistency over short-term trends. The coin's desirability has endured through multiple generations of collectors, economic cycles, and changes in taste, demonstrating its lasting relevance. From a preservation science viewpoint, the surfaces of 1928 dimes offer insight into early 20th century mid-metallurgy. Subtle differences in alloy mixing and planchette preparation can affect how coins tone and age over decades. Researchers and advanced collectors study these patterns to better understand how environmental factors interact with silver-copper alloys. This level of study elevates the coin from a collectible object to a subject of scientific and historical research. In a broader cultural sense, the 1928 Mercury dime functions as a historical witness. It passed through the hands of factory workers, shopkeepers, travelers, and families during a defining moment in American history. Each surviving coin carries silent evidence of its journey through time. This human connection is one of the strongest reasons collectors continue to pursue and preserve the 1928 dime, ensuring that its story remains alive for future generations. The 1928 Mercury dime also provides valuable insight into the relationship between art and government authority during the early 20th century. At the time, the U.S. government actively encouraged high-quality artistic expression on coinage as a way to communicate national values to both citizens and the international community. Coins were not merely tools of commerce, they were miniature public artworks that circulated across the nation and beyond. The 1928 dime reflects this philosophy clearly, presenting liberty not as a ruler or warrior but as a thoughtful, dignified figure, reinforcing the idea that American strength was rooted in principles rather than force. This artistic choice continues to be studied as an example of how governments use visual design to shape public identity. In terms of production logistics, the 1928 Mercury dime reveals much about how mints balanced speed, cost, and quality. Mint presses of the era were powerful but required careful calibration, especially for silver planchettes. Slight variations in pressure, planchette thickness, or die wear could dramatically affect the final appearance of a coin. These variables explain why no two 1928 dimes are exactly alike, even when they share the same mint mark and grade. For modern collectors, this variability adds depth to the collecting experience, transforming the pursuit of this coin into an exploration of industrial history as much as numismatics. Another area of growing interest is the digital documentation and archiving of 1928 Mercury dimes. In recent years, collectors and institutions have used high-resolution imaging and data analysis to record die characteristics, surface conditions, and toning patterns. These digital records allow researchers to trace die usage, identify shared characteristics between coins, and better understand survival rates. The 1928 dime, particularly the rare San Francisco issue, has become a key subject in these studies, demonstrating how modern technology can enhance the understanding of historical objects. The 1928 Mercury dime also holds significance in the context of monetary psychology. Because it was made of silver, people inherently trusted its value, associating weight and sound with worth. This psychological relationship between metal and money shaped public behavior for generations. When people held a 1928 dime, they were aware, consciously or not, that the coin had real substance. This contrasts sharply with modern coinage, which relies primarily on legal authority rather than intrinsic value. As such, the 1928 dime helps historians understand how material composition influenced economic confidence. From a conservation standpoint, the coin has influenced modern standards for responsible stewardship. Museums and advanced collectors treat 1928 Mercury dimes as historical artifacts requiring controlled environments, careful handling, and thorough documentation. This approach ensures that future generations can study the coin in its original condition. The evolution of conservation ethics reflects a broader cultural shift toward preserving history rather than altering it for immediate aesthetic appeal. The intergenerational dialogue created by the 1928 Mercury Dime continues to grow. Collectors often share stories of discovering these coins in inherited collections, sparking interest in history, economics, and art. These narratives add a human dimension to the coin's significance, reinforcing its role as a connector between past and present. Each rediscovered dime becomes a starting point for learning and storytelling. In scholarly circles, the 1928 Mercury Dime is increasingly referenced in discussions of symbolism and national narrative. Its imagery is analyzed alongside other contemporary artworks to understand how America portrayed itself during a pivotal historical moment. The coin's emphasis on liberty, unity, and peace is seen as a reflection of national aspirations rather than political propaganda, making it a subtle yet powerful statement of identity. Ultimately, the continued study of the 1928 one dime demonstrates that numismatics is not just about collecting objects, but about understanding the societies that created them. The Mercury Dime serves as a compact historical document, one that communicates values, technology, and human experience across time. As long as these coins are preserved and studied, their story will remain an active and evolving part of American cultural history.